Yo, what's good, guys? It's Sinumatic, and for all my loyal viewers out there that watch all of my shit and comment on it and all that kind of stuff, I thought to myself that I should do a little series and kind of tell you guys a little bit more about myself, like my life story and all that, because I think a lot of you guys that watch all my kind of stuff, it might interest you, and I deserve you deserve to know who you're listening to, you know what I mean, on a daily basis. So I don't know how long this series will go. I'm just gonna keep titling it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until I get to the end of the story or to the current time right now. But start off like this. I was born and raised, still living in Evansville, Indiana. It's the southern tip of Indiana, Midwest. I was born December 1st, 1977. Born with pneumonia, actually. It was a really bad storm that year. My mother, kind of, I don't know if she was really prepared to have a kid. She was just turning 18, out on her own. So I pretty much grew up into a very poor environment. But, my mother tried to take care of me the best she could. My dad, he cut out before I was even born, pretty much. And, I loved it. From the time I was, born until I was around 5 years old, I lived with my mother. We moved from house to house because she couldn't afford to pay the rent at one house, so she would go get another house and, let the rent run up there and then get another house. And, it's pretty hard because she was a single mother. Father never paid child support, didn't really come around or anything like that. And, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people would say it was growing up rough, but I love my mother, and I wouldn't take the experience back for anything. Right around 5 years old, my mother had moved in with some guy because she needed to pay the rent. She needed to have a place for me to stay, for her to stay, and they were dating or whatever. And it turns out he was a psychopath motherfucker, and they got into an argument, and he broke her jaw. And she had to get her mouth wired shut for, it was a long ass time, but at that point in time, my mother was like really stressed out because she didn't know how she was going to take care of me without being able to talk, work, know where to stay, all that kind of stuff. And basically the state, said, well, you don't have a job, your mouth's wired shut, you can't take care of this kid, blah, 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 blah. And then my dad's grandparents came through and said, you know what, we'll adopt him. He can come stay with us. And, you can see him anytime you want. And my mom was basically in a situation where she didn't see nothing else she could do. They wouldn't just keep me until she got better or anything like that. They said the only way they would help out is if they could adopt me. So, my mother trusted in them that they were going to let me see her whenever I wanted and all that kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. And, my grandparents weren't rich or anything, but they were more middle class, had a little bit of money, so she figured if nothing else, she'd get to see me, I'd be in a better position, all that kind of stuff. And she went ahead and did that because she was scared that the state was going to try to put me in a foster home, and that would be, a really hard thing for her to get me back because, the state can do some fucked up stuff. So, moved in with my grandparents at around 6 years old, and honestly, the reason is that they wanted to adopt me is because, for one, they didn't want their son to have to pay child support, and for two, all of their children were either out of the house or about to be out of the house, and they weren't in great, physical shape, physical health, like they wasn't in good health or whatever. And they needed someone there that could, fix them something to eat, get them a soft drink, be their errand boy, basically, clean their house, do whatever it was that they needed done. So basically, I spent some years there. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. My grandparents were abusive. They were manipulative. They were, set in their ways. And I basically spent about 10 years as a slave of theirs, doing anything and everything they needed done. getting beat up, whatever, whatever it took to make sure I did what I was supposed to do. And I don't know, it's kind of messed up. My mother, they told me, I could see my mother whenever I wanted. Then they started throwing that, well, you didn't clean the house right, so you're not going to see your mother this week. You didn't do this, Basically kept me from my mother for a short period of time. There was probably a year or two's time where I wasn't allowed to see my mother at all, except for, little did they know, my mother wasn't going to just not see me. So, she used to come to my bus stop in the morning and after school. Sometimes stop at school and pick me up and drive me home so I didn't have to take the bus, and she could spend a little time with me. And I don't know, so I'd say, the first 16 years of my life, really all I had other than my friends was video games. I did get a Nintendo at around 13 or 14 years old. Nah, maybe 12 or 13 years old, somewhere in that range. And started working to tasseling corn every summer and buying my own games, bought my own TV, all that kind of stuff. And really that's all I did, because I wasn't allowed to go out of the house like I wanted to. There were times when it was, get out of the house, we don't want you in here. So I get to go out and play with my friends, and then, 90% of the time it was, if you don't get all this shit done before the sun goes down, you're not going outside. So, in a lot of my rebellious stages, I would say, so I'd say to myself, fuck them, I'm not cleaning their house. And I don't give a fuck about going outside. I'll just go in my room and play my game. Because they couldn't take it away from me because I bought it. They did eventually take it away. We'll get into that in another episode or whatever. But I'm going to knock out 2 or 3 of these right now, and then, sit back after I start uploading them and actually watch them again myself. Try to fill in all the blank spots and everything. It's going to be kind of back and forth, talking about some of the stuff that I've been through all the way up till now. And hopefully you guys like it. Leave me some comments. And I don't normally ask this, but favorite it, help me get it out there, because I'm trying to get more viewers in. But I'm out. Peace.